K102.5 FM. My special guest for part 2 is Mr. Jason Price, who is the candidate for Justice of the Peace, District 2. Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to get right into our discussion for today. I don't want to run out of time. But before we get into the talking points, I do want you to please introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and tell us why you decided to run for this position.
Well, my name is Jason Price. I'm running for Justice of the Peace.
Okay, we're going to start over. I didn't have the mic all the way up. Okay, try again. Sorry, sir.
Okay. My name is Jason Price, and I'm running for Justice of the Peace for District 2. I'm a father of 2 great kids, Lauren and Colby, and a grandfather. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management, and I'm currently employed as an Operations Manager for a regional telecommunications company. The reason I decided to run for Justice of the Peace, I've seen things going on around the county, and I decided that I'm from the kind of old school, raised by my grandparents and my grandfather always told me you can't really complain about something unless you're willing to jump in head first and make something happen. And I decided it was time for me to step up and start serving my community.
All right, so let's get right into the duties of the Justice of the Peace, and what do you hope to bring to the position? I'm still learning. I looked on the website. There's a website where you can find some information, but it's still written in a way that it takes a while to decipher. I do know one of your duties is to make decisions on the distribution of taxes on the county level. So kind of help us understand how that works.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. I think that's one of the most important questions for this position is that distribution of tax dollars. It's up for the Justice of the Peace to decide how that money gets allocated to each department. And we have to be good stewards with the taxpayers' money, first and foremost. But we also have to use that money to fund the needed projects that are going around the county.
Okay. And usually there's some road work that needs to be done. There may be some other infrastructure things. There are schools that are out in the county, so I'm sure you have to make decisions on what happens with that as well, with those as well.
Yes, and I know firsthand knowledge of that. I grew up my early years out in the county, lived down a gravel road, so I know the importance of maintaining those roads and the drainages for those roads. Heavy rains washes out gravel roads really bad.
Yes.
I'm a graduate of Westside High School, so that's more of a rural area school.
Okay, and we saw some of those road issues we had some major flooding last year?
Yes.
Just last year.
Yes.
A lot of roads got washed out and damaged, and people were stranded. So that's where the quorum court comes in, and you have to make a decision. Okay, how do we best repair these various issues that pop up around the county? And you also work hand in hand with the sheriff's department, as does the city council work with the Jonesboro Police. So tell us about the relationship with the sheriff's department and what some of the responsibilities you have concerning them.
Well, with the Justice of the Peace and the sheriff's department's relationship is very close. We, of course, decide the funding for the sheriff's department.
Okay.
And with Craighead County growing at the rate it has over the years, with that growth, unfortunately, comes the increase in crime. Mm-hmm. And we have to make sure that the county sheriffs have the manpower, the training, and the tools necessary for them to be able to do their job right. Because if we slack on that and get behind, it's hard to catch up from. And if you've seen in the news lately, all the increase in crime, and it appears to me the more violent crime that we've had in our county, we really need to pay focus to this and make sure we allocate plenty of money, that they have what they need and tools that they need to be able to make sure that the citizens of Craighead County are safe.
Okay. We have here at the station, we have regular talks with the chief of police. I haven't been able to track down the sheriff. He's been so busy. Mm-hmm. However, the chief talks about the different equipment and tools that they are getting access to help do their jobs better. Let's just say body cams for one. That's been a big thing. With the sheriff's department, do those officers or deputies have access to the things they need now? What are some things they're looking into, or have you had discussions on?
I'm like you. I have not had the chance to sit down with Marty Boyd and had those conversations. I know he's a very busy man. They have a lot going on. I do know that they do need improvements with their equipment. Just like any department has, the equipment gets outdated. They need new things. But I think that's something that we need to focus on. Also, along with the county jail. With that alone, that's a huge expense. And that's something that we need to make sure that we fund that properly so they can do the maintenance that they need in the upkeep, because we need this county jail to be able to be functional for many years to come.
Yes, sir. All right. Again, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Mr. Jason Price, candidate for Justice of the Peace, District 2. Now, let's talk a little bit more about District 2. And what are some ways that you have been trying to engage with the residents of that district?
Well, I've been going out and put out signs like everyone else does. And you see the signs out in the people's yards and things. I've gone out and met a few residents as I've been able to, the time permitted. I try to use the Saturdays to do that, which kind of, I have a full-time job, and during the week my time is a little limited during the day. And also I know most of the residents are like me, they work jobs, and if I go out and knock on the door, they're not home, that was kind of a wasted trip. You know, I can't leave. I could leave behind in their door, but I'm afraid that might blow away. And also, I can't leave stuff in their mailbox because, you know, that putting in anything in a customer's resident's mailbox that is not posted page is illegal. So don't want to go that route either.
No, don't want to get in trouble. I was looking at a website I want to direct everyone to. It's arcounties.org, and this is a procedural manual for Justice of the Peace. So if anyone would like more information on what the Justice of the Peace does for the county, and so that you can make an informed decision, get to know who the candidates are for these different positions, who's running for these different positions, so that you can make an informed decision. I have to give a disclaimer, I forgot. KLK does not support or endorse any particular candidate. No compensation was given for this interview. This interview is provided for informational purposes only. So I cannot tell you who to vote for, but I do encourage you to vote. If you would like to get to know Mr. Jason more, are there any ways that people can reach out to you, sir?
Yes, I have a Facebook page. It is Elect Jason Price for Justice of the Peace. And going there, I have a few points of what's important to me and who I am, and what I think that the county needs to do for the citizens.
All right, so let's go into a few more of your specific issues. So I want to make sure to get those in before our time elapses. So go ahead and start with your top issues, sir.
Well, we've touched on one of it already. But I think the most important job is just being good stewards with the taxpayers' money. That and foremost is the greatest job that Justice of the Peace has. We need to make sure that all the different departments are funded correctly, and just make sure we do our due diligence when things arise and we're funding what needs to be funded.
And I know another one of your duties is to make a decision on empty seats. Is it on the county level? Deciding who gets put, say, if a seat becomes vacant for whatever reason, or if someone passes away or they're removed from their seat, you decide how to fill that spot.
Well, it is voted on depending on if the person is kind of failing their duties. It takes a unanimous vote in order for the quorum court to decide whether we need to vacate that seat, or that person needs to vacate the seat, or it needs to go to the governor for appointment. So you all are in constant communication with the governor? No, ma'am. More if the seat becomes vacant and during a cycle, it will have to go to the governor for appointment to fill that position during the interim. But that person is no longer able to run for the next election year if they are appointed.
So if someone is appointed, that takes them out of the running
for the next election cycle.
Now, if they sit out the next election cycle, can they then next one after that?
Yes, ma'am. Then they can. Yes.
Okay. First, there's a lot of policy and procedure.
There is, and I'm learning it myself as I go. I've been going to the quorum court meetings and actually sat on the sidelines and thrown my 2 cents in on several occasions on certain matters that have come up.
Okay. Now, you all work also hand in hand with the county judge
Yes.
to help make decisions. So what are some other issues that are important to you that you want to help shine some light on?
I think my biggest thing is crime.
Okay.
I think we need to really get a handle on that around here. And another thing is roads and infrastructure.
Okay.
That's very important to these rural communities that have the gravel roads still. That's something that we can't back off of, and I think we need to maybe start looking at it different ways other than maintaining, maybe looking at ways that we could do more permanent fixes. I know they try to pave as much of it as they can, as the money will allow.
Okay.
And I know Mr. Day has came in and jumped in. I have to give him credit. He has jumped in head first and tackled a lot of the things that are going on, because a lot of the things that we have funding for, we get grants, and whether federal grants and state grants, and a lot of those fundings get either dropped to the side a little bit, people forget about because as time goes by, because there's so many different grants. And he's been really on top of making sure that those grants get funded and to fund certain things that doesn't directly have to come out of the taxpayers of Craighead County.
We definitely cannot allow grant money to just go to waste, because grants are hard to come by, and
Yes.
we want to, I live in Craighead County, so we want to make sure that we're letting the funders know that we're utilizing their money to the best of our ability. And I know I'm not in a position, but I am a resident, and
It is we.
it's a we. It is we. So, and those that we appoint or we elect to certain positions, we want to see them allocate those funds and handle business in a timely manner, so that we don't lose out. If some other opportunity becomes available. I'm looking at the district map, so can you give us an idea? These maps are always drawn so crazy. Can you give us an idea of where District 2 is?
Okay. It runs approximately from Washington, go north to Thomas Green Road, and then from east to west is from Patrick out to Shady Lane. It kind of goes down Dan Avenue. So basically from Washington Street all the way north across Johnson up to Thomas Green Road.
Okay.
And then it kind of jogs around here and there, and also from east to west is Patrick out to Shady Lane, which is on the other side of the bypass.
Okay. All right. So, as you have been going door to door and getting to meet more of the residents, what are some of the issues that they have brought to your attention that are of concern?
The crime in the county. That's something that's been a hot button topic to the people that I've.
Do you know if there are any statistics that state maybe why crime has picked up on the county level?
It's the increase in population.
Okay.
I think you see that anywhere as population increases in the area, of course the crime is going to increase in that area.
Okay. So we may in turn need to employ more deputies at the sheriff's department so that they can be more present within the community, within the areas and patrol to hopefully reduce crime.
Yes, and that's a very important subject to me. I have kids and grandkids that are going to be citizens of this county for years to come, and I think it's our duty to make sure that we leave our county in a better place than what we inherited.
Yes, sir. All right. Again, what is your Facebook page name again?
It's Elect Jason Price.
Okay.
For Just of the Peace.
All right. So if you would like to learn more about Mr. Price, you can go to his Facebook page. Now, are there any speaking engagements coming up that you'll be participating in?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Okay.
We're kind of down on the totem pole there as far as funding goes, and trying to get out there, and everyone else wants the
top
governors and the representatives and stuff like that. So it's hard to get in there for that kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm going to continue to go door to door as much as possible and meet as many the residents I can. I'm working on right now to try to get out before Election Day a flyer to mail out to all the residents of Craighead County in my district.
Okay, and I want to state this, and I'm glad you brought that up. We put a lot of focus on those top tier, or what we consider top tier positions, but every position matters, especially on your city and county level, because you all make a lot of decisions for the residents of the county and the city of Jonesboro. So and surrounding cities. So we need to make sure we have the right people in place. Again, I cannot tell you who to vote for. All I can do is encourage you to vote. Make sure that you're looking at who's running for what position, and make contact with these individuals. I'm sure you'll be welcoming to someone who wants to reach out to you and have a one-on-one conversation.
Anytime.
All right.
During the barbecue fest, I got out and I walked around and had one of my campaign shirts on, and had a very good conversation with someone from a different party.
Okay.
And we were able to have a polite, civil conversation. We agreed to disagree on certain things, and we agreed on a lot more than I thought we would agree on.
Okay.
And it was a pleasant, and we need to have more of that than what we were having currently in our political
Yes, sir.
arena.
I want to also, encourage everyone, don't just vote straight one party. Again, look at the individual and what issues they stand on. Listen to what they say and just really pay attention to them so you can, again, make an informed decision. So do not overlook the justice of the peace positions, because you all are the county equivalent to our city council. And the county judges are equivalent to the mayor. So you all make some very important decisions concerning our county. We have individuals who live outside of the city limits, and they deserve to have the same privileges and infrastructure and things that we have right here in the city. So we need to make sure to take care of everyone of the county. I was looking at your page and you mentioned that's for the sheriff's department, making sure they have proper equipment and tools, and then also tools for other tools and equipment, not just for the sheriff's department, but for the people who do work on the county level. They need to make sure they have the right tools, up to date, adequate things, equipment. I'm sorry.
Exactly. The county clerk's office is a good example. They need the software that they need for their computer systems in order to process things correctly, and along with the tax assessor's office. The more updated their equipment is and their software is, and they can process your payments when you come in and make that time you're standing at that window a lot easier, and make sure that everything's up to date.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you brought that up. We've had conversations in the past with other candidates on talking about how they want to streamline things, either make the process as paperless as possible to help save the county some money, find other ways to reduce costs so that the taxpayers' money is being used as efficiently as possible, and hopefully they're building. They don't call it a savings account; they call it something else. I'm sorry, but keeping money in a pot, so when an emergency does rise, we're known to have some bad weather and things need to be taken care of. If there's no money there, then we're at we're suffering.
Yes, we are. And that is actually one of the things that I do in my job that I currently do. I'm certified, A+ certified, and so I'm in information technology, and so that's something that I would be a big asset for the county. I work, like I said, I work for a regional telecommunications company, and I work on all aspects of the outside plant.
Okay.
And so I can bring that knowledge to the quorum court on how we can streamline those processes and what kind of new communication software or computer software that we could use to help make those processes that they're doing currently, how we can streamline those.
All right, so we're getting ready to wrap up, and again, you're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I want to thank everyone that's out there listening and that is watching our Facebook Live feed. If you have any questions, please reach out to Mr. Jason at Elect Jason Price for Justice of the Peace on Facebook. I'm sure he will be happy to entertain your questions or comments. maybe have a one-on-one sit down, have some lunch somewhere, or dinner or coffee or something, to discuss the issues that are important to you. Again, get to know every single person that's running for every single position. Do not go vote blindly. So
that's correct.
Yes, sir. Well, I can't thank you enough for giving us your time here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so now last 30 seconds, would you like to state your case, why you want someone to vote for you?
I just want participants to get out and vote. I feel like I'm a great candidate for the job. My background is proven. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I have a degree in business management. I have a lot of training in the information technology field. I have just a lot of things I can bring to the justice of the peace.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.